Good afternoon, folks. I'd like to show you our Back to Eden garden in progress here in Centralia, Missouri. Perhaps the first Back to Eden garden in the city of Centralia. We've started here in this area here where you see these dark colored wood chips. Looks like some lush Missouri River bottom dirt, doesn't it? Anyway, we used to have a little what I call the crop circle right here. Here's the stones. You can see those that we had laid around in a circle there. Used to grow about 6-7 tomato plants. Then over the years our garden expanded a little bit, and I guess like Paul said in the Back to Eden movie, for years and years we rototilled and added fertilizer and we fought the weeds and everything else. So now we've decided to, thanks to the gals that put the Back to Eden film together, and if you haven't seen the Back to Eden film, I'd strongly suggest going online and searching for that. You can find it on Vimeo. Go to vimeo.com and then just search Back to Eden film, and I think you'll be very impressed. We were impressed enough to start our garden. Now what we did first, because I had a good friend that had some cow manure that had been in a barn for about 5 years and brought out, and it was very mature. I don't know if you'd call it composted, but certainly didn't have that rich manure smell. It just looked like good dirt, actually. So we spread that. We brought that. Now those were from pasture-fed cattle, that manure was. And so we spread out about an inch to 2 inch layer here to begin with. And then started to realize, that might be a mistake. Those pasture-fed cattle may have, all the weeds and the thistle and the seeds and stuff that might be in that manure that were ungerminated might be a real problem. So we'd actually laid down 4 layers of paper to begin with. Then we put the inch or 2 of manure on. Then got a little nervous about all the weed and seed and thistle seeds that might germinate. So we actually laid down another 4 layers of paper before we put down the first layer of wood chips. Now these lighter colored wood chips are ones that went through a chipper that the city has a big pile of out at the compost area, and then decided that they had another pile out there. Now these darker colored wood chips had actually been through, and let me show you that. It's wood chips, but if you see it's just like rich, fertile soil. My guess would be these wood chips are probably a couple years old. The city had a company come in, and all the trimmings and the branches, the needles, the leaves, everything went through a tub grinder, and this was the result. So they had a mountain of this tub ground wood chips out there. So we got a layer of that and put it down, and then put the newer wood chips on top. Now I'm going back with another layer. Here's the old 98 Silverado, old baby. But this kind of shows you where I dropped the tailgate. You can actually see we've had some rain since I loaded these wood chips up. Pretty well stuck in there. So here we've got probably the height of the tailgate 18 to 20 inches. But if you can imagine, the idea of this is this being the top with the wood chips, the top of the garden here. Okay, now if we come down with these railroad ties, we're probably going to end up with about 6 to 8 inches, somewhere down in here, of wood chips. Of course, then we've got an inch or 2 of manure below that. So we've got, let's say, 2 inches of manure. Well, first we've got a layer of newspaper on the ground, 2 inches of manure, 4 more layers of newspaper, then about 6 inches of wood chips, some new and some more composted like this. But if you can imagine that down 6 inches in that soil of the garden that we've got, the wood chips, here's what we've got. Here's what the roots have to deal with to go down. So we're not going to have much trouble at all for the roots on those vegetables to find their way down in here and collect the moisture and the minerals and everything that's coming out of these ground up wood chips. We put the ashes from our wood stove, which we use as supplement heat in the house in the winter on the garden and always have. But now we're going to have all the minerals from these trees that have roots that go halfway to China.